Let's start with a definition of natural capital. It's basically the plants, the animals, the air, the water, the energy, soils and minerals that provide benefits to people and are used by industries, households and governments. I'm here as part of a project which is looking at natural capital and natural capital production landscapes. It's looking at the interests of farmers and pastoralists and what natural capital represents to them and what opportunities it may hold in the future for them. And also from the investor perspective of what natural capital production landscapes may represent to them and the investment opportunities that it may bring. So when I talk about natural production landscape, you always think of the Southern Rangelands as a great example because it is big, and that's what excites investors. They love big things and big investment, big stories, and the ability to make a significant impact is what is available on these sort of scale landscapes.
Through my understanding, natural capital represents to me a way for business owners in the pastoral area to be able to put together their whole package of their properties, everything that they see of value, and hopefully use that to derive funding for other projects.
So natural capital is a way of looking at the natural resources in more of a business sense. So you include them as an asset of your property. You look at different types of capital like intellectual capital, capital equipment and things like that. Natural capital is the soil, the trees, the animals, even the water that add value to your business.
Natural capital is essentially all living matters that happens on pastoral lease. So for me, at our particular place, it's the trees, it's the animals, it's the plants, it's everything that makes up what the nature it has on the rangelands.
When you talk about a natural capital production landscape as an asset class, you can bring it together. You can become of such scale that you can become the aggregator of things like biodiversity and carbon credits, assets within an equity structure. So I think that's really interesting as well, because you've got that ability to go beyond collaboration to become the sum is greater than its parts type story.
Like-minded pastoralists can make an enormous change to the environment on a large scale. And when we're talking about the number of hectares that an individual pastoralist in this area manages, we could be potentially influencing millions of hectares with just a small number of people. So the potential to collaborate with other pastoralists, to share knowledge and to build projects for the greater good of the whole environment is absolutely phenomenal and really exciting, and it's something that I hope that we can be a part of in the future.
It's an emerging industry, and essentially it goes hand in glove to the land management and what we're all about. So, as a pastoral association, as a group of people, we want to have a sustainable lifestyle as well as a land mass around us that's healthy. So I believe that having a emerging industry such as natural capital with running beef or sheep or goats, if whatever you want to do, the livestock production is possible and essentially should be something that's promoted.
So the way that you look at natural capital is that it's an addition to what you do. From an investor perspective, it's actually enhancing value on what they could invest in. So that's the value proposition for them, which is quite interesting.
I guess the next stage is to get more in depth and what potential investors were looking for in return, and what we'd have to, what sort of capital they are prepared to put in and get back out of the whole process. Obviously that's obviously the key thing, and obviously there's a lot of groundwork to be put into it between now and then.
More of an understanding of what the investor side wants out of the natural capital project, and how landholders would have to work together and have verifiable data, tangible results that the investors would actually be interested in putting their money into. And it's quite a complex system that I don't think's been exactly worked out because no one's had a go, but it'd probably be really good if we set up a pilot project in the area so we could iron out some of the bumps that inevitably will arise when we start to step into this natural capital area.